The story begins with a team of hunters in the jungle who had killed many animals. All these hunters used to hunt animals, skin them, and sell their hides in the city. These people were just about to tie up the hides and prepare to leave when the tribal people of the jungle attack them and surround them from all sides. The tribal people of the jungle are very angry and start showering them with arrows, which kills many people from the hunting team. And this tribal clan attacks because their chief's daughter had been kidnapped by someone. And the tribal people think that this is the work of these same hunters. They fight the tribes too, but the tribes outnumber them, so they can't hold out, and many of their people are killed. Now, the captain of the hunting team had also understood that if they fought the tribesmen, they would all be killed. So he tells his team to pick up as many hides as they can and quickly get to the boat with them. Here, Glass, the film's lead, tells his son, "Reach the boat quickly." Just then, they see another large group of tribal people approaching, so they stop fighting and run quickly towards the boat to save their lives. Meanwhile, more hunters are killed. Only a few reach the boat and manage to escape from here. After they leave, the tribal people take possession of all the hides left by the hunters, and the tribe's chief does not find his daughter here. Now the tribe's chief tells his people to pick up all the hides left by the American hunters. "We will give these hides to the French hunters, and in return, we will get horses and guns from them, and we will keep searching for my daughter until she is found." On the other hand, these American hunters are still scared even after traveling a long distance and remain ready with their guns aimed because they knew that the tribal people would not give up the chase so easily and could attack them at any moment. Now, these people don't understand which way they should go. Then the captain asks Glass what they should do. Glass says that we should leave this boat and travel by the land route because those tribal people will reach us quickly by following the river. That's why land is the safest path for all of us. But a man in their group named Fitzgerald disagrees with Glass's decision. He says if we travel by land, they'll kill us quickly, since the route is very long and getting home will take us many weeks. But the captain tells Fitzgerald that Glass knows this place better than us, so we should follow him, and they decide to go overland. Now, Fitzgerald also agrees with the captain, but some people don't like Glass's decision to go by land, so they decide to go home via the river on the boat. Land-bound disembark. Others go by river. Here, the captain tells everyone that we should leave all the hides here so that we don't face any trouble on the way. Everyone agrees with the captain's idea, after which they hide all the hides under the rocks so that if they ever come back to this place in the future, they can find their hides. And now all of them start walking through the jungle path. But difficulties were about to increase for them because the winter season was approaching, and they had to walk for several weeks to reach their home. But besides this, they had no other option, so all of them were ready to face the cold. Walking through the jungle path, evening falls, and now these people decide to stop at one place and spend the night there. After a while, night falls. They all sleep in the jungle. The next morning, we see that the people who thought Glass's decision to travel on foot by the land route was wrong now regret their mistake. Those tribal people come and kill them, and the tribesmen realize that some people have escaped on foot through the jungle path. So they fan out across the jungle to find remaining American hunters. One tribesman also discovers hunters' footprints, showing they were traveling on foot. He comes and tells the chief of his tribe. The tribe's chief thinks that his daughter is with them, and now these tribal people follow the footprints and go after them. Meanwhile, they hike for hours through the forest path and grow exhausted, so they pitch camp here to rest, and everyone lies down to recover. Everyone was hungry, but there was nothing to eat, so Glass goes out alone into the jungle to find prey. After some distance, sensing someone nearby, Glass raises his gun, ready, then sees two bear cubs ahead. Before Glass could get out of there, a large bear attacks him, causing the gun to fall from Glass's hand. The bear picks up and throws Glass around, injuring him badly. Now Glass couldn't do anything, so he lies down quietly on the ground. When Glass stays still, the bear starts to leave, but Glass somehow reaches his gun to hunt. Just then, the bear comes to attack Glass again. Glass quickly shoots it with his gun, but instead of hitting the bear's head, the bullet hits its neck. This irritates the bear even more, and it tears Glass's throat with its claws. But the bear doesn't stop and brutally cuts Glass's entire body with its claws. Shot and weakened, the bear falters. Glass pulls out a knife and stabs it repeatedly, and the struggle sends them both tumbling down the slope together, exhausted. After that, the bear collapses onto Glass. The bear is dead, and Glass is near death, his throat torn open by the bear, with deep wounds slashed across his entire body. Glass was in extreme agony. When Glass had fired at the bear, his companions heard the gunshot, so they followed the sound and found him. They see the bear atop Glass. With effort, they roll it off him and carry Glass away safely. One man starts stitching Glass's wounds. Pain had left him in terrible agony. His throat is badly slashed, and he has deep gashes all over his body. Looking at his wounds, the men figure Glass can't survive and will be dead in a few hours. Meanwhile, the chief of the native tribe gives the pelts left by the American hunters to French trappers, in exchange for which he gets guns and horses. This meant more trouble for the American hunters, Glass and his companions, because before, the natives attacked with bows and arrows, but now they had horses and guns. Since Glass was too badly injured to walk, they make a wooden stretcher for him, place him on it, and start moving forward. They take turns carrying Glass. They carry him a long way, but the path ahead was very difficult, because ahead was a steep mountain they had to cross. The mountain path was so treacherous that even one man could barely climb it, making it impossible to carry Glass up. They try, but can't haul Glass up the slope. Captain tells man, cover Glass's mouth with cloth. He's about to shoot Glass, because he thinks Glass is suffering and, in any case, cannot survive. Glass is writhing in pain, and getting him home from here is nearly impossible. The captain is about to kill Glass when his son steps forward and says, "Don't do it." The captain pities him and can't shoot Glass, since Glass kept them all alive back then anyway. The captain tells everyone, any two who stay with Glass until he dies gets $70 upon returning to the village. The captain says that Glass helped all of them, and he wanted Glass to have a natural death. When Glass died, the two men were to give him a proper burial and then return. Glass's son immediately says he'll stay, and another boy there, Fraser, says he'll stay, $70 or not. Now, Glass's son Hawk and Bridger were young. Captain says another man should stay with them. Gerald steps forward. I'll stay, but $70 is too low. Captain, all right. And then Glass's son and the other young man say, you can have our dollars too. Hearing this, Fitzgerald says, $300 is enough. I can buy a house. Anyway, 2 or 3 days. Glass won't last longer. Fitzgerald agrees to stay with. Now these three stay behind with Glass, and the rest move on. Fitzgerald sits beside Glass and begins to wait for him to die. But Glass shows no sign of dying. The next day, Glass's son and the other young man go to hunt for food and get water. Then Gerald starts digging a pit. But why? Is he planning to bury Glass alive? We'll find out later. Many more hours pass this way, and when Fitzgerald sees that Glass is still not dead, he angrily goes to Glass and says, why don't you die? Because of you, we're all going to die, because the natives are still hunting for us like madmen. If they find us here, they'll kill us all. You can save your son and all of us by giving up your life. Now Fitzgerald says to Glass, if you blink, I'll know you're ready to die. Poor Glass tries for a long time not to blink, but then Fitzgerald tells him, I guess you don't want to save your son either. Hearing Fitzgerald, Glass blinks to save his son. Seeing this, Fitzgerald stuffs cloth in his mouth, suffocating him. Glass writhes, dying. Then Glass's son arrives and shoves Fitzgerald back with a gun. Glass's son points the gun at Fitzgerald and threatens to kill him. Fitzgerald tries to explain why he was doing it, but Glass's son ignores him and starts shouting. Then, before Glass Fitzgerald stabs the boy in the gut, killing him. Glass's throat is slit. He can't scream, only watches his son die. And Fitzgerald takes his son's body and hides it in a distant spot so the third man won't see it when he arrives. After a while, the boy arrives and asks Gerald where Hawk is. Gerald says he's nearby, coming back soon. Poor Glass tries to tell the young man, Bridger, that Fitzgerald killed his son, but he can't, as no sound can escape his throat. Night falls. Fitzgerald and Bridger sleep. At dawn, Fitzgerald wakes Bridger and lies. I saw about 20 tribesmen not far from here, rushing fast right toward us. If they reach us, they'll shred us. Hearing this, scared Bridger asks, if we leave, what of Glass and son Hawk? Fitzgerald, if Hawk lives, he'll find us. Then the young man says, Glass is still alive, and we promised the captain that after he dies, we would give him a proper burial before leaving. Hearing this, Fitzgerald grabs Glass by the legs and drags him brutally. Glass has wounds all over his body and screams in pain. Now Gerald puts Glass alive into the grave he had dug the day before and starts shuffling dirt over him. Then the boy says, what are you doing? Gerald says that he will die sooner or later, and as we promised, his funeral will be conducted with full rites, so I have fulfilled my promise. He throws a little dirt on him and leaves, telling the boy to come with him too. Bridger feels sorry for Glass's state and says, sorry, Mr. Glass, I have to go. He sets a water bottle on Glass and leaves. Now Glass is alone, writhing. Glass lies for hours in the same spot where they buried and left him, half dead. He thinks, if I'm going to die lying here anyway, why not try to survive? Escapes the grave. Glass is in agony. He crawls straight to where his son's body lies. Seeing it shatters him, and he begins to burn with fierce need for revenge. Afterward, he lays his head on his son's body and sleeps. Meanwhile, at dawn, Gerald wakes Bridger. Up, fast, we have to leave. Hearing that only 12 from the tribe are chasing us, Bridger tells Gerald, you said 20 people. He understands that Gerald had lied to him, so he points his gun at Gerald. Then Gerald tells Bridger, you should be thanking me. I saved your life, and it was necessary to scare you because we couldn't risk our lives for a half-dead manual. Glass was going to die anyway, and if you want to stay alive, do as I say, or you can go back to Glass alone. Hearing this, afraid, Bridger obeys Gerald and moves forward with him. Meanwhile, Glass is still there and is now hungry. He crawls to a place where an animal's skull is lying. He breaks a bone from it and eats the dried meat on it. Then he crawls to the edge of a hill where he sees a river below. Glass was also thirsty now. With great difficulty, he crawls to the bank of that river and starts drinking water. But when he drinks water, the water comes out of his neck because his neck was cut. Now, Glass first had to treat his wounds. He had a little gunpowder left. He gathers dry grass, lights a fire, and puts some gunpowder on the part of his neck where his throat was cut. Then he touches a burning piece of wood to his neck, which ignites the gunpowder, creating a spark, and that spark burns his neck. He does this so that the burning will seal his open wound. During this, Glass feels immense pain and faints from the pain. Afterward, Glass lingers by the same river for days, surviving on water and the meat of dead animals. One day, those tribal people reach the same riverbank again. Before they spot Glass, he quickly dives straight into the river. He swims far away from those native people in the river. After being in the icy cold water of the river, Glass was in a terrible state from the cold. He barely lights a fire to warm himself and now decides to stay here. Thus, many days pass as Glass stayed here. His wounds heal, and now he began walking a little. Being by the river, he had no shortage of water, but getting a full meal was very difficult. He used to survive by catching fish from the river and eating them raw to keep himself alive. Now, one night, while he is sleeping, he sees some flames. When he goes in that direction, there is a man who had made a big kill and was eating it. Glass goes to him, and as soon as he sees Glass, he aims his bow and arrow at him. Glass gestures that he is not a threat and just needs food. The man understands and gives Glass a piece of his kill to eat, and they both sleep there for the entire night. That morning, the man sees Glass's wounds and asks Glass what happened to him. Then Glass tells him that he was on a hunt with his team and his condition was caused by a wild bear, after which his companions left him in the forest to die, and they also killed his son. Hearing this, the man feels very sorry for Glass and says that his entire family was also killed by French hunters. Saying this, the man gets very emotional, yet says he won't seek revenge on those French people, as vengeance belongs to God alone. Looking at Glass's wounds, the man says that you can travel with me, and after that, they both continue their journey on a horse. On the other hand, Gerald and Bridger get very close to their village. But before entering the village, Gerald tells Bridger that no one should find out about what we did. He tells Bridger that if they find out the truth, the captain will hang us. Reluctantly, Bridger agrees with him. Now Gerald and the boy go to the captain, and Gerald tells the captain that they stayed with Glass until his last breath. We buried him with a proper funeral, and Glass's son was captured by the native people, and we escaped from there to save our lives. Hearing this, Captain keeps his promise, gives both $100. The boy refuses. Gerald grabs the boy's money and says he's in shock from what happened on the trip, so he's acting like this. And Fitzgerald also gets out of there. On the other hand, Glass is continuing his journey in the snow with that man. Just then, a blizzard hits. Glass is ill. His wounds fester, so he faints. Then the man builds a small wooden hut for Glass, strips him, puts him inside, seals it all around, and lights a fire in front so he gets warm. The night passes. Next morning, Glass rises, looks around, but the man is nowhere to be seen there. And when he goes a little further, he sees that someone has hanged the man from a tree, and at some distance, Glass sees French hunters. Glass understands that these are the people who hanged that man. Now, Glass reaches their horses, and there he sees a French hunter raping a girl. And this girl was none other than the tribal chief's daughter. These were the same French hunters who traded the tribal chief horses and guns for hides earlier. And it was these French hunters who had kidnapped the tribal chief's daughter, but the tribal chief thought that American hunters had kidnapped his daughter. After that, Glass stealthily comes from behind and kills the man who was assaulting the tribal chief's daughter and frees the girl. Glass rides, unties, shoots, horses bolt. Now, since the French lack horses, they can't chase Glass. While fleeing, Glass's water bottle drops right there. After escaping, Glass spends the night under a tree. At dawn, he sees the tribe closing in on him fast. He quickly gets on his horse and starts to flee, but the natives are very close to him. He shoots 1 or 2 natives and makes the horse run faster. And while running, he comes across a mountain with a deep ravine below. But Glass can't stop now. If he does, natives kill him. So Glass rides off the cliff with his horse, hits a tree, then plunges straight into the snow. The horse dies from falling directly on small rocks below, but Glass survives. But because he hits a tree and falls on a thick layer of snow, but his condition is now much worse. Storm, deep freeze. Glass needs warmth or dies. Now, to survive the cold, Glass slits the horse's belly, removes its organs, and sleeps inside for the night, knowing that if he stays outside, cold will kill him. He somehow spends the night inside the horse's belly. In the morning, he wakes to clear weather and, once again, sets off to continue his journey. Meanwhile, at the place Glass must reach, a French hunter arrives and asks the American hunters for help. These people bring him inside. The captain asks him what happened to him. So the man explains that a man came who killed our captain and then set all our horses free. Actually, this man meant Glass, and the one assaulting the tribal chief's daughter was actually the captain of those French hunters. The man explains that after the horses were set free, our whole team scattered. Some of our people died from cold, and wolves killed others. To prove it, this man shows his companions' belongings. and showing a water canteen. He says that the man who killed our captain dropped this water canteen while leaving, and it is the same canteen that Bridger had left on Glass when he abandoned him there. Bridger, Glass's bottle I gave him. Now, these people ask the man where Glass had killed his captain, and the man tells them the place is 30 miles away. Afterward, Captain Brazier and some men ride to find Glass. And here, Gerald realizes he's about to be trapped. After many hours of travel, night falls. They reach the spot where that man found the bottle. The captain orders everyone to search for Glass, and then they suddenly spot a distant man. When these people get close to him, it is none other than Glass. The captain is completely shocked to see Glass because Fitzgerald had told him he was dead. The captain comes to Glass and asks him what had happened to him. Then Glass tells him the whole truth, after which the captain quickly returns to his village to catch Fitzgerald and looks for him. But Fitzgerald has stolen all the money from the safe and run away. The captain hits Bridger in anger and tells his men to arrest him. But Glass tells the captain that it wasn't Bridger's fault. Bridger knew nothing about what happened there, so you should let him go. And now the captain decides that he will go to catch Gerald because he murdered Glass's son and also stole the money. Then Glass says that he will go with him too. But the captain says, "No, you need rest now. I'll go kill him alone." Glass replies, "No, I came from far for him. Only I." Captain agrees. They go kill Gerald. The two of them are following Gerald's horse tracks, and after going quite a distance, they both go their separate ways. The captain tells Glass, "Take the right road. I'll take the left." With that clear order delivered, while Captain searches for Gerald, Gerald emerges from behind a rock, holds him at gunpoint, says, "Captain, what are you doing here?" The captain tells him he's accused of murder. "Come with me," but Gerald refuses. No. Just as the captain is about to pull a gun from his pocket to kill him, Gerald shoots the captain, causing the captain's death. Hearing the gunshot, Glass comes in that direction and sees the captain's dead body lying there, and Gerald has fled. Now, Glass acts wisely, breaks a large wooden branch, and places it on the captain's back to straighten it. After which, he puts the captain on the horse and lies down like a corpse on the horse behind, so that Gerald thinks that Glass is in front and the one lying behind is the captain's dead body. That's exactly what happens. Seeing horses, Gerald thinks front is Glass, behind lies the captain's corpse. Then he shoots the man ahead, and the instant the bullet hits, he collapses. Gerald is pleased and thinks Glass is dead too. He slowly approaches the corpse. Reaching it, he turns it over and realizes it's not Glass, but Captain. Before Gerald could do anything, Glass rises from the rear horse and shoots at him. The bullet strikes his shoulder, and he starts fleeing. Then Glass also chases him, and while chasing, he reaches the bank of a river where a big fight breaks out between the two of them. They both injure each other badly, and then we see that on the other side of the river, the tribesmen arrive who want to kill them. And just as Glass is about to kill Gerald, he remembers the man who had given him meat to eat and was later crucified by the French. He had once told Glass that instead of taking revenge on a person who does wrong to another, one should leave it in God's hands. So Glass also dumps Gerald in the river. He drifts across, where tribesmen seize him and kill him. And now they cross the river and come towards Glass, but they don't say anything to Glass and start to leave him there. Actually, the tribe's chief has found his daughter, and she is the same girl whom Glass had once saved from being raped by the French. This girl tells her father about Glass, that he had saved her life, and that is the reason they leave Glass there and go away. With this, the story ends. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and like the video.